Hey everyone, it's Kong with the 25th issue of the Langrisser Lookout. This is a regular series where I go over some noteworthy game and community news and then follow it up with an update on my own account progress. So let's go ahead and start with the important stuff, which is the news. Ever since I started publishing these on a monthly basis, we've been getting reliable updates on all the new goodies from the Chinese major updates in each episode, and that's no different this month. We've got 2 new heroes, new exclusive gear, and new 3-cost skills to discuss. We'll start with the new heroes, Alpha and the Transcendent one. Alpha is a bruiser-style DPS unit who also has access to a few tanking skills. She has a revive, and her talent gives her a damage reduction shield that flips between magical and physical protection each turn. The Transcendent one is Gizarof perfected, all according to his plan. When he's healthy, his normal attacks go off twice. His 3-cost skill lets him swap his hit point percentage with an enemy and then lets him act again, which means you can get really hurt, then bring your opponent down to that hurtness level, and then double attack them. He also has a line AoE that pulls enemies towards him and reduces their movement, as well as a 2-cost AoE spell that has a 0.45 times damage modifier, which is just immense. That's a damage mod that would look right at home on other characters' 3C skills. Probably as a way of balancing this OP kit, his base int is relatively quite low. We'll have to see whether this negatively impacts his viability or whether it's something Chinese players manage to work around. For new exclusive gear, the Sage of the Trees gets a helm that increases unit attack range, so it should include troops, but it doesn't include skills. It also splashes the target and the tiles around the target with his terrain effect, so it gives him ready access to his terrain without needing to cast one of his big AoE spells. Vincent gets a suit of armor that boosts his crit rate by 5% for every space he moves before combat, and dispels a buff from the target if he gets a critical hit. For new 3-cost skills, Freya's is finally her combined guard and faction buff. It passively guards adjacent allies and makes her immune to heal block. When she casts it, the faction buff increases damage dealt by 12% as a base, or 17% if you're in mixed forces, and attackers take her crystal spike fixed damage after combat. Parn's 3C skill is a single target attack that dispels several buffs from the enemy before combat if you have a talent stack, and it lets you attack before the enemy if you have 2 talent stacks. Functionally, this is kind of like a baby version of Elwyn's Glorious Charge Sword Soul combo. Hot on the heels of her new SP class upgrade, Narm's 3-cost skill is a big single target attack that ignores guard if the enemy has 2 mobility or less. Then, the target can't use active or passive skills after battle, but shouldn't they not be surviving the battle? I don't know, I'm not super impressed with this skill. Over in PvP news, Apex Arena Season 7 is well underway by now, but I will reiterate that if you haven't already, don't forget to pop in and get your 5 qualifying matches out of the way so you can start getting free loot every single week. Even if you hate PvP and you never want to play PvP, just go surrender 5 times and you'll get free scrolls. The Summit der Langrisser Season Special has also been chugging along. We're now in the midst of top 32 matches, but by the time this video is published we might be into the top 16. Notably, 2 of my guildmates, Chung and Junny, have made it into the top 16 this season, so congratulations guys. Oh, and here's another thing that's been happening. Every week, 3 prominent streamers in the community, Kenji, Will, and Kata, have been hosting Wednesday Night Fights. Between 6 and 9 PM server time, they're encouraging people to jump into the casual Apex queue to get some low-stakes practice so you don't have to worry about learning harsh life lessons when points are on the line. It's a great opportunity to try new things with your box, and if you want, to get some supportive feedback as well. I'll put the links to all 3 of their streams below, so go follow them even if you'd prefer to just watch rather than actually queue in and fight. Speaking of which, I've been streaming more random Langrisser content lately as well, so a little bit of Apex here, a little bit of Ancient Beckoning there. I'll drop my own channel in the description as well. Feel free to follow so you can drop by whenever I go live. Okay, and that's it for the community news, so let's move on to the Kong update for July 1st. Of course, we'll get started with a summoning update, and it was actually a fairly eventful one. The big banners of the month for me were the Patzer and Toa banner and the Clotaire and Wheeler banner. On the Patzer banner, I was originally planning to just grab my first SSR. I ended up going all the way to pity for Patzer. About a week later, I was emboldened to try again, and I ended up getting Toa in about 80 summons, with off-banner Leon and off-banner Elwyn thrown in for good measure. The Elwyn shards went right into the meat grinder right away, but that Leon actually got him up to 6-star for me, which directly contributed to my new high score in Sleipnir. Anyway, after all that nonsense, my luck picked up, and I got a copy of Clotaire in 20 summons. On the Emilia, Rosenseal, and Licorice banner, I figured it wouldn't hurt to see if I could get a cheap SSR, and then just carry the pity forward if no one came home early. Kind of my usual MO for banners like this, that I don't really need to go deep for characters. Rosenseal and Licorice are both good units that I simply haven't had time to fully shard yet, so getting a lucky copy in like 10 summons would have been pretty great. Sadly, I ended up getting Emilia in 20, so at least she's 4-star now. But that means I don't have any pity to carry forward. That's fine. Those last couple of cheap pulls were apparently enough to single-handedly bring my lifetime SSR rate back up to an almost respectable 1.79%. I've been hovering around 1.8% since I started playing the game, so I guess we have to feel happy here. Alright, let's hop into the game for a Gates of Fate update. Florentia won the Gates of Folly community poll last month, and by the time this video is published, she'll be 5 stars. Other than the 6-star Leon and the 4-star Emilia from summoning, there hasn't been much other movement on this front. Many thanks to the time-traveling merchant for bringing me 0 Wheels of Fate this month. The 20th Gates of Folly poll is now live on my community page, and the poll is going to be active all day Thursday until the in-game server reset, at which point I'll start farming up whoever wins the vote for the next month or so. So let's go take a look at gear. Oddly enough, even though my main account didn't do much summoning on the previous New Equip banner or the recent Swordsmith Medal rerun banner, I did end up getting a few pieces naturally from the game. So I snagged a copy of the new sword in a weapon gamble, and I got a copy of the new armor from the dragons. Sadly, no new helm yet. That was the piece that I was kind of excited about getting. Even though I didn't summon for Swordsmith medals, the icing on the cake is that last month and this month I did somehow manage to get a Swordsmith medal from event rewards. So that brought my total up from 2 to 4, which is pretty sweet. Moving on to my training. In infantry, I actually maxed out overrun tactics, so that's a nice tech to have. Nothing else going on there. Nothing else in most of these trees, actually. I've been kind of laser focusing down a few things. I did max my archer and assassin hit points, so that's something. And I almost maxed armor contamination for my demons. Almost. Maybe by the time this video is published it'll be done, but I'm not sure. So this was my channel members training poll winner last time, so get ready to vote because I'll have a bunch of other potential training to focus on this month. That is actually going to be it for a relatively lightweight Kong update this month. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all your feedback and advice and encouraging comments as always. Stay tuned for the next episode of Should You Summon? Actually, today. But stay tuned for the one that's coming next week, and then I'll catch you in the next Langrisser Lookout.